Hey guys, and welcome back. Today's video we are going over blast from the past to 2022. I'm going to be going over my 2022 makeup favorites and kind of go over if it's still a product I love and use, if I would still consider it a top favorite, or if my thoughts have changed, if I haven't really been using it much, if it really doesn't fit in the top rankings, or I just don't really like it as much as I used to, because sometimes our opinions change and that's okay. It doesn't mean I'm dishonest, but sometimes my preferences and makeup style just changes year to year. So I thought it would be fun to just kind of go back to my 2022 makeup favorites and see what products stood the test of time and I would still consider a favorite to date. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, with my video last year, I did separate videos. I did a separate palette video where I did a top 10 and bottom 10 palettes of the year. And I figured 10 palettes would be a lot to go over, so I just wanted to kind of narrow it down to 4 different ones and tell you guys my thoughts on these. First being my Natasha Denona, my Dream palette. This was one of my favorites of 2022. Natasha's palettes always seem to make it into my favorites. I'm sure I will have a couple this year as well, but she makes some of my favorite like wearable palettes. She does bring in some color as well as a mix of neutrals, which I love to wear on the daily, so they fit really well for my daily life, as well as I love her formula of her shadows. She has ultra metallic shimmers, which I love, and also her mattes are super easy to work with and very pigmented. So my Dream palette is still in the top for me. I actually have this one on my eyes right now. Still a top favorite neutral palette, especially in like fall and winter. I love these kind of warmer golds and purples mixed in here. It's so pretty, especially around like Halloween time. I wear this one quite a bit, and although I feel like I haven't worn it as much as I probably should, I test out so many palettes. I feel like I was testing out a new one almost every other day this year. It's still a top favorite for me and would still be a top palette in my eyeshadow collection. Now, I will say this one I wouldn't really consider in the top anymore. I think I liked it just a lot last year for quick, easy makeup. This is the Sigma Nomad. I know I raved about this one a lot, and I still think it is a very beautiful palette, but I will just say that Sigma's metallics just are not up to par for me for what I'm looking for kind of this year. I like ultra metallics, like super sparkle, a little over the top if you will, and these are just more satin, very subtle, so great for natural makeup days. I will say I brought this with me on like a 4-day trip or so, and this is like all I had for eyeshadow, and I feel like I was kind of sick of using it by the time that trip was over. I just feel like my looks were so natural and I wanted to be a little bit more amped up, more glam. So I still think it's nice, but I wouldn't say it would be a top favorite again for me this year. I just wish that Sigma had some more kind of punchier metallics, but overall they are a great formulation, I would say, for beginner makeup and more natural makeup. This one is definitely still a top favorite for me. This is the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 2. So this is the more kind of rosy toned one that he came out with. I love Patrick Ta's formula. It still ranks in as some of the best in my collection. I really like his first palette and then this second one here. I've been trying the third one, but I'm just not always into the all mattes. I just gotta have some shimmer in there too. I still love and use this one, and if I want just a really pretty rose gold look, this is kind of my go-to for the more warmer tones. So stunning. And I know the first one had some issues with hard pan a little bit. I would say this one maybe is a better formula than the first one, because I don't find that this one has really gotten much hard pan at all. Nothing weird going on with it, so it's really lasted well for me this year, and I still love this palette and still a top favorite in my collection. And then lastly, I did include the Huda Empowered palette last year. I feel like I really didn't get a ton of use out of this one before putting it in the video, because usually her palettes launch like holiday time, and I will say I honestly don't use this one much at all. I don't know if I've really reached for it this year. I've definitely used the Pretty Grunge, I feel like, a lot more already than I have used this palette here. It's just not my favorite when it comes to warm tones. I think I'm reaching for the Natasha Denona a bit more, and they do have a little bit of a similar color scheme, and I just prefer Natasha's formula a bit. I mean, Huda still makes some of my favorite shadows, and I always buy their palettes but I guess this was just not a color story that I reached for this year, but I still could see the Pretty Grunge maybe making it in a top favorites video for this year. I just prefer the cooler tones, and the cooler tones have been so popular for 2023. I did include 2 primers in last year's video, including the Denona Yummy Skin Balm. I mean, you can't tell I like this, right? You can't tell this is a favorite at all. I mean, it's almost empty. I still love, love, love this primer. Both of these are still holy grails in my collection. I really found some awesome complexion stuff last year, and I would definitely include these in my 2023 favorites again. They're still at the top of my collection, although the 2023 video is going to be new releases only, so I can't include these, but just know, yes, these are still absolute favorites for me. I can't go without them. I use the Denona when I need my makeup lasting all day with little shine because I'm so oily. This seriously is such a lifesaver. I don't know how it works. It's magical, but it seriously keeps my makeup on all day and keeps me pretty oil free. And then as far as the Hourglass Vanish primer goes, I also really like this one. It's not quite as mattifying as the Denona is for me, but I still love how smooth this makes the skin right before applying my foundation. I feel like it gives it the perfect prep and base to last all day. So I still love both of these and reach for them so often. Also, for a little primer, I included the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. I still enjoy this as well. I love using this for when I do want a little bit of a glow. So it's not going to be a daily for me because I am more oily. I can't overdo it on this. I have to use it on special occasions. Like if I want my makeup to last all day, I'm probably not going to go in with a glowy primer. But if I just want it to last for maybe 6 hours or so, or for filming and I just want a nice luminous base, I will add this in, and I do really like this. This is my go-to kind of glowy-ish primer, so I still use this in 2023. For foundation, we have Hourglass again, the Soft Glow Foundation. Another one I still reach for. I still really love this one, especially when I want a little more coverage and I want to look pretty flawless throughout the day paired with the primer. They work so good together. I do have this one on now, and like I said, I do have oily skin, and despite the name being Soft Glow, I don't find this to be too glowy at all. I feel like it has a nice natural finish on this skin, and it lasts all day. It makes my skin look so flawless. And then I still do use the Makeup Forever as well. This one I like for more of a natural day. I will say I probably haven't used it as much this year as I did last year because I have been wearing a little bit more skin tints for a natural makeup, and this one's just like more of a light medium coverage. But I still really like this, and I still feel like this holds up really nice throughout the day. I literally just did a big foundation declutter, and both of these still made the cut, so I still do wear this from time to time. But I will say I have found some probably a little better ones even in my collection that I like even more on the skin, but I still think it's great. I really do. Last year's top concealer was the Huda Faux Filter. I honestly forgot that this came out in 2022. For some reason I thought it came out this year, but this is still, again, a favorite for me, probably my most worn concealer of the year, although I have found a couple more that I really love just as much as this one that I've been rotating throughout, I would say, the last few months, but this was really my go-to for the majority of 2023 even. It gives such great coverage underneath the eyes, isn't super cakey or anything, and it does last all day, so I still love and use the Faux Filter. Getting into some cheek products here, we have bronzers, and Charlotte Tilbury launched their cream bronzer last year, and I fell so hard in love with this. It is amazing. I know in 2022 it was kind of the stage where I still didn't really love cream bronzers as much as I do now. I feel like I have a lot more that work really well for me in my collection, when I feel like last year a lot of them just seemed so glowy on me, weren't staying all day, and that's why I really loved this one, is because it does feel like it's a little bit more pigmented than most other cream bronzers, and it doesn't blend away on the skin. So this really was such a favorite. I have 2 of them. I have the light and the medium one. The light is a little bit more cool tone, which is this one. I wear both of them still to this day, and I really do love this one. You get so much product in here. It's easy to use, but my favorite part is it's not too natural where it's going to blend away. It'll stay on the skin and you can actually tell that you did a little bronzing or contouring on the cheeks. So love the Charlotte Tilbury still. Another bronzer, this is from One Size. I really loved this brand in 2022. I found so many great products from them. This is their Made for Shade Bronze and Sculpt Trio. I still really enjoy this one. I think it's especially nice because there's 3 different tones of bronzers in here. So oftentimes I do like to self tan about once a week. I have like a light, a medium, and a darker shade, so I can always make this work for me for whatever I'm looking like, if I'm just my regular skin tone or if I do have more of a self tan. So I love that I can just do a lot with this one, and I still do use this one quite a bit. I do think it is very, very pigmented though. This has a very neutral undertone to it. I have the light trio and I still use that one quite a bit. One that was also on this list and I don't have anymore is the Haus Labs bronzer, and I'll tell you honestly, that bronzer completely shattered on me like midway through the year. So I didn't really get a chance to reach for it a lot this year, and I never repurchased it. And I honestly don't feel like I need to. It was nice, but I feel like I have such a staple bronzer collection now that I just don't really feel the need to have it in my collection. Like, I'm fine with the One Size. I'm fine with this one still, the L'Oreal. This is a nice drugstore option. I will say I did get a lighter shade in this one than what I had last year, because I did feel like that one on me was looking a little bit muddy and patchy, and I think it was because the shade was too dark. So now I really like this. I got the shade. I hate that these don't have the shades on them because they're on like the sticker that you take off, so that's annoying. I do have this one on right now, and I do think this is a better, more natural tone on me. And yeah, it's a really nice just like daily bronzer. I feel like the formula is really good on this one, and it performs like high-end in my opinion, so still love that. Okay, cheek products here. I did include this Hourglass Ambient palette that came out last year, and I will tell you, I really did not reach for this much this year at all, and they actually released a new one this year, and I've been reaching for that one a lot, the Jellyfish one. It's just, I feel like every time I do this, I will buy the Hourglass palette for the year, use it a bunch, and then another one comes out and I feel like I need to have the newest one when they are all so similar. I will say though, I like the Jellyfish one a little bit more because I feel like it has a lot of things I can do with the full face. Like, there's like an under eye setting powder, there's a highlight, there's a bronzer, there's a blush. A couple blushes actually, so I feel like it just does a little bit more for me, which this one has a couple blushes in it too, but they do look kind of similar on the skin. And I like the highlighter better in the new Jellyfish palette, more for fair skin, so that's why I've kind of been reaching for the Jellyfish one more over this Elephant one. Okay, this blush from One Size again, still such a love for me. Mine is so dirty and messy, but I really felt so in love with this formula, and I still love it and use it to this day. I know even this year he launched a new pink color, which was so fun, but I really like this formula. Especially love the Very That color. This is great for more fair light skin tones. It's a really pretty peachy shade, and I love that it comes with a cream powder, and it has a little highlight shade too. I don't really use the highlight one, to be honest. I kind of wish it would just be the duos, but these are really nice, and I still use this one a ton. It's like one of my tippy top 5 blushes of all time, especially in this color. The cream I do first on the cheeks, and then I do set it with the powder. These aren't like glowy like Patrick Ta's are. These are more of a matte finish. I also put Benefit blushes on this list because they redid their blushes back in 2022. I still reach for these as my powder blushes still. I'll always love a good powder blush. I know creams have kind of taken over, but these will always be the best and longest lasting on my skin. So these were really great, and I still do enjoy them in 2023. Next, we are on brow products. I will say my brow routine has changed a little bit this year, but I still love this brow pencil that was also in my 2022 favorites, the Give Beauty Hella On Point one. I love how tiny and precise this little eyebrow pencil is. It really makes getting the brow hairs more like natural looking. You can get really up close thin strokes with this one, so I still love this one. It's still like one of my favorite brow pencils of all time. I used to do like the pencil and then I would throw in a tinted brow gel. And I included the Lawless one in here, the Hold Up Soft Set Creamy Brow Wax. Haven't used this one in a little bit. I will say, lately in 2023, I've been using more clear brow waxes to really laminate the brows and keep them lifted. This one does not have as much lift as some of my favorites from this year, but I do love the tint that it gives. I did use it on my brows today with the Give pencil, and I do feel like they look just really nice and natural. So I still think this is a really good brow gel. And then I also included the NYX Thick It Stick It. This one I would use for like quick makeup days. It thickens up the brows because it has these little fibers inside, and it also is tinted. So I did use this a lot in 2022. I will say not as much this year because again, I typically will go for more of a clear brow laminating wax instead and just like stick the brows up because that makes them look thicker on its own. So I haven't been using this as much, but I still keep it in my collection because I still think it's a really great drugstore kind of brow gel that offers some thickness so that you don't have to like use a bunch of products in one. Okay, lip products here. I included the Makeup Forever Anywhere Caffeine Lip Liner. Still love this one. It's still my go-to. I have this one on right now. It seriously is just the best, most perfect Your Lips But Better lip liner. It goes with all my nude lipsticks, so I love this. I use it almost daily. I can't get enough. Just love that formula. Also included the Tarte Juicy Lip Plumps on this list, and these are still my go-to, especially lately. I feel like I've just been wearing them so much. They are so literally juicy and glossy on the lips. I feel like these have mixed reviews and I don't understand why, because I think these are incredible. They're my favorite like lip glossy type of formula still to this day. Nothing beats these out. I did include the Makeup by Mario Plumping, I think these are called the Plumping Lip Serums, also in last year's video, and it's very similar to the Tarte ones. I actually prefer the Tarte ones over these. These are just more messy. The Tarte ones have a thinner opening, so I feel like they don't get all over the place. They're not as messy, while these, you kind of put them on the lips and they kind of like melt and then get product all over the sides of them. So essentially they do the same things as the Tarte ones. I know these went like super viral last year, but honestly I haven't been reaching for them as much, I would say, this year. I definitely reach for the Tarte more. And then I also did enjoy these from Colourpop. This is kind of their version of those plumping lip balms, and this is the glowing lips from them. These aren't quite as glossy as the other two, but I still feel like they are very beautiful on the lips, and I think they did a great job with this formula. So I still mention these and use them quite a bit here on my channel. Now I know lip oils were huge last year and they're still pretty big this year, and I did put the Dior lip oil on this list, and I will say I feel like there's been better lip oils in 2023. I know this was kind of the it one, but it's really pricey, and even e.l.f. duped them this year, so I might have the e.l.f. ones in my favorites for 2023. They're so comparable. So I don't know, I guess I just don't feel like this is in my top favorites this year. I don't love it as much as I used to because there's just been so many better formulas that have come out, or just dupes for this already. But I mean, I did wear it quite a bit in 2022, and it is a nice kind of thicker consistency lip oil with a lot of shine, which seems to be the formula that I really like. This product from Givenchy, this is their Rose Perfecto Liquid Balm. It's kind of similar to the Tarte and the Makeup by Mario. That was such a trend, as you could see, in 2022. I still really like this color. I think there is similar formulas that you can get on the market these days for a cheaper price point, but I don't know, these were so pretty. I still think it's beautiful, like the swirls on here, gorgeous packaging. I personally love the smell of them. They have kind of a rosy scent to them. Not everyone likes it, and I don't know, I still think these are beautiful. I have still used that one quite a bit this year. And then lastly for this video, my Summer Fridays lip balms. These are still my most used lip balm in my collection, and I have a lot, let me tell you. This has been the year of lip balms for me. I know Rhode Beauty makes really good ones too that are very similar, but I love that these have a little tint to them. They're so good, and they're viral for a reason. I know they're always sold out. I feel like I have almost all the colors, and they're always in my purse. I always reach for them, so still a favorite after even a whole year. Most of them to me smell like cupcakes. I heard they all have different scents, But to me, they mostly all smell the same, except for the red one smells like cherry, which is interesting. So that is it for my updates on my 2022 beauty favorites. Let me know your thoughts on some of these products. I would say most of these products are still favorites in my collection to this day. I feel like there's only a few that I just kind of don't feel the same about, or I've kind of found better products this year. I can't wait to share with you my favorites for this year. Let me know if you want me to do that best and worst palettes video again. I feel like that's gonna be so hard to do, because I feel like there wasn't that many bad palettes this year. There were so many good ones, but I thought that was fun to do last year, because then I didn't have to include all my favorite palettes in the video and it wasn't as long as it normally would be. So anyways, I will let you guys go. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.